for the way that I'm looking at it. Like, I'm viewing it as if it were on film. But, you know, I can't really paint, draw, and do anything. So, you know, I try my best with words, but... And yeah, like I was saying, I mean, the eye came on the screen here. It was a big digression, you know, I don't see anything here, and thing is that I looked around. Yeah, the boss is like peeking his head out here. Like right there. And I always shoot him in the head. And he goes away. Well, for now. So, I mean, I just want to see what happens if I just run underneath him. I don't know if one time I was chatting and somebody says you die. I just don't know anything about it. I've got a lot of notebooks filled with writing, like with a bunch of ideas. They weren't for games, really. They were more for short stories, novels, free writing. Which some of them could be applicable, I suppose, to games if I thought about... Well, I don't know. I'm not sure. A lot of them were, you know, kind of dark, horror-oriented, or suspense. Not sure how they would segue into a game, some of them, but I guess it's just the idea of, like, writing those types of ideas and having certain images of certain scenes and the way I would want them to be, and, yeah, I'm just gonna run under here and see what happens. Okay. This is interesting. Wait, what's going on? Oh, I had a chance to shoot him? They're giving me a chance here? I guess I failed, but I have never seen this before. Well, that was interesting. That was the first time for... I never ran under there. It's kind of interesting they give you a chance, too, to kind of fire at him with the gun, which I didn't take advantage of, but... I thought maybe the thing, like the tentacle, would just come down, sweep me up, and then it would just be, you know... bring me back to the checkpoint. It wouldn't be as elaborate as that. Always look out for rooms with some good stuff in it. I don't know. Give me that. Let's go to an explosive bolt. I should be like near the point now when the boss is gonna come out, and again, maybe I'll run around for a little bit. I'll wind up dying. I kind of like him. Like, what is his name? Is again Quell. And it's interesting how like throughout the entire chapter he kind of appears and takes away some of the enemies, but. I mean, one of the reasons I upgraded too, especially on this mode, is to make it a lot easier on myself later on. And in a way, it does make it easier. I mean, at least for myself, on this mode, I found some of the earlier chapters to be really challenging. Especially when you're with Joseph and you're having to protect him, it's hard. Wow, I'm stocked. I should not, well... Well, before I go into the save room, this is what the whole trophy thing is about. So instead of going to that panel right away, because you get the third one here instead. You just put all 3 in and you wind up getting a trophy. He's putting them in the right way. But that's not really even the most important. I mean, putting all 3 of them guarantees, like, when you get past the boss and turn the generator on, this door will open with stuff in it, and this electricity will turn on and make that push aside. And there's a key behind there. I know this isn't really complex. Well, what am I doing? You just have to get all 3 of the lights on, and then a trophy will pop up.
Damn it. What am I, an electrician?
So I'm putting my Magnum, well, what am I going to do, die at first, kind of showcase it, because otherwise, if I don't run around for a little bit, I don't know, maybe it just shows and gives an idea of what this boss is like. I mean, it's kind of interesting, and it could be more problematic playing on this mode, but otherwise, I mean, if I don't do anything, I'll wind up dying. It's kind of like just showing what he does. And then I'll dispose of him, because the way I set this up with the Magnum, I mean, I can get rid of him in about, 5 to 7 seconds before, I mean, he'll hardly have a chance to even move anywhere. And the Magnum is probably like I don't know if it's not the strongest weapon, it's one of them. And even though you get it late, I mean, the first time I played the game on survival, when I got the Magnum, you get it on chapter 11, I don't even know if I even bothered upgrading it, because I just thought, with New Game Plus, and I don't know, it just seemed like I got it so late in the game that I was like, well, I don't know if I want to upgrade it, and it really is worthwhile, especially on this mode. At the end of the last chapter, a keeper appears in the fridge. And on this mode, you have to knock him down 3 times before the elevator opens. It's in a very compact space, and a disc appears on the ground, and it's in, what is it, in a meat locker when there's stuff hanging out. I can just say the Magnum already at level 4 damage. And you get 3 bullets on chapter 13 for the Magnum. Just one hit in his stomach takes him down, so all you have to do is hit him once, he goes down, he'll respawn, hit him again, respawn, hit him again. It's just one hit each time with the gun at this level, and again with this boss, I mean, it'll take about 7 shots, which having the fire rate up makes a difference, because I don't even think time-wise I'd be able to get that in. So I'm just gonna die at first to kind of give, I don't know how much of an impression I can give at this boss really without dying. But what happens is, if you shoot him enough, he'll just go up into the vents like he was before when I died. I wanted to satisfy my curiosity and test to see what would happen. At which point he starts drooling, where you can find him throwing leeches that explode. But even if you knock him down and hit him again, he doesn't really, he'll disappear and camouflage himself on walls. I wouldn't doubt it. I've had it happen before where I've come up with ideas, even from movies, and sometimes I've seen it come out before, and the ideas in movies in other ways, not exactly, or I don't even know if I can get him up in the vents. I'm not. This is taking too many shots. Oh, there he goes. Well, you see, this is what then he starts throwing these leeches, and on a regular mode, they wouldn't kill you. But you can't get hit by anything on here. Once he crawls up into the vent, usually you have to fire at him in the head, and he'll fall back down, but then he'll wind up disappearing. And kind of messed up. I guess it's... Oh no. I hit him, I think I hit him 7 times with the Magnum, and maybe it takes 8. I'm not sure. Oh. Probably only had to hit him one more time. I didn't actually expect him to just start me right in the pit. I thought they were going to show the whole scene with me being grabbed by him by the generator first. So that's the boss right there. 8 shots with the Magnum. At level 4 damage, the fire rate was up to 4. The one thing I didn't do was... Well, reload I didn't put, because I put the clip capacity up to 4, so I had... That's why I can fit 9. That's to prevent him from even going up in the vents to begin with. 10,000. I don't know, one reason I'm thinking it could have taken longer... I didn't bother raising the critical level like I've done before, like, I never understood, I'm sorry, the accuracy. The thing is... I don't know, it just seems, is this the case in this game? I've never played that. I never understand the accuracy in this game, how it works, because it always seems like it kind of waves in front of you, the reticle, even if you raise the accuracy. If it's just a matter of your chances of hitting something just decrease, if it's not or increase if you raise it, but it doesn't change. I don't know how to word it. I mean, I use the Magnum on the Keeper in the fridge on this boss, and the 2 Keepers at the end of Chapter 15, I'll usually use it. Now, 5 bullets isn't enough for the 2 Keepers, but that's why I'm opening up all the lockers too. 2 of them, one of them already open has Magnum bullets. There should be a second one with Magnum bullets as well. I mean, I kind of know in my head the specific places you can get Magnum bullets. I just don't know. I mean, I've never seen them personally. Anything drop Magnum bullet. I've never seen them anywhere like just appear. And sometimes enemies drop ammo or. I've only seen them in the specific places I found them. In Chapter 11, you pick up the Magnum in a briefcase. Then there's another briefcase, which I imagine if you missed it, the Magnum would be in there, but there's bullets in there. Then there's other bullets across a gap. And then in Chapter 13, there's 3 bullets. Those are the only places I can think of besides the lockers. Oh, that's right, I have to turn this. I don't want to hold that anymore. Yeah, but like I was saying before, I mean, I've come up with ideas for things and I've seen them. I mean, it happens too. I mean, even if you read, there's people who have, you know, there could be 2 people on opposite sides of the world and then just come up with the same idea. And, I mean, historically, I believe, I mean, it's happened a few times. It does happen. You know, whether it's a discovery, like, you know, somebody solved a mathematical equation or somebody comes up with a new creative idea or something that, kind of makes me wonder, like, whether people are just pulling ideas out of some kind of, I don't know what to call it, common pot or something like that. You know, two people get inspired by the same thing at the same time. It's... Are they... Yeah, if you put those fuses in all like this, now this door, you go in and there's ammo, green gel in here, and parts, and... I mean, if I sit in the upgrade chair right now, I have a lot of things upgraded pretty high. I mean, again, a lot of this is from collecting all the keys and getting green gel and just getting as much as I can. I'm holding 50,000. Considering the last keys are on this board, I'm automatically the last locker I open. It's just going to give me 100,000 flat out. So, and that could be spent just right before chapter 15, like you have to go into the gauntlet and... Oh, that's right. The third key's over here. If you put all the fuses in, this turns on. And, the statue's just... So at this point, there's only one key left in the game. I mean, I didn't collect one of them. I always found that odd that you can open up all the lockers and miss one key. They allowed, I don't know. But killing Laura just really, in chapter 10, especially on this mode with all the bear traps, is just... I don't even know how much, I don't even know what the best weapon to use. I mean, the harpoon bolts I had, level 5 on fire, it gives me time, because if I hit her with them, she just lights on fire. The same way if you light a body on her, the same way you hit a lever on her. It works well for that purpose, but... I did get the trophy for killing her, but I did it on survival, and I blew all of my ammo. I think I was left with 1 bullet or 2 bullets. What's not bad? The game you're referring to? I've never heard of that. Is it... Then again, I mean, I haven't heard of a lot of games. I probably knew of a lot more games when I was, a little bit younger, when I played a little bit younger. Man, I remember, like, playing the first Resident Evil on... You know, the original PlayStation. But way before that, I mean, I even remember having, you know, the original Nintendo. Well, here's the last key. I mean, they're very close to each other, the other two. I mean, are a lot of the ideas you have... I mean, are some of them like horror survival games? Some of them, are they all different? And I mean, you said something about a game Warframe that sounds kind of... I don't know if that could be a strategy type game. I'm not sure by judging from the name. I mean, there seems to be a war element, but then again, I'm thinking of even board games that, you know, you hear the game... that, you know, story-wise includes war, but then it includes like tactical and strategy and like doing things. Or whether I'm saying it's more like a combat-oriented game where you. Usually when I come up with that, when I've done that, I've come up in periods where I just come up with ideas and I'll just kind of, I'll listen to music and I can usually get my brain going and I just keep coming up with ideas. The problem, I guess, in the end is that trying to like put it together or box it in into like one coherent idea, like, because sometimes it just winds up going all over the place and kind of tangential, and then I have like a number of ideas, and that's great, but it's sometimes, I guess, hard to like turn it into something, a coherent line, without feeling like that I have to remove certain ideas that don't make sense, and then I can't do anything with them, and if that makes any sense. Or maybe another way of putting it, like if I say characters, let's say I come up with like different ideas and now there's 7 or 8 characters. That's just too many for whatever story, like if I can think of a coherent one to fit into, yet I like all of them and I can't use them, and then I guess it's the same way with ideas, like I can't use them all, and I maybe it's just a matter of just putting it all together into something coherent. It sometimes seems easier for me to just come up with a bunch of ideas, but then if I have to do the editing portion and get rid of certain things in order to make something pretty coherent and clean. In terms of just writing itself, it doesn't really apply to like some other things. Like if no reward for turning around. This is the last section of this chapter.
You published my research in your name again. Did you think I wouldn't find out?
And I have done you a favor. You have no credentials. You'd never appear in a reputable journal otherwise. Nobody in the world knows you even exist.
Oh, but they will know. I have surpassed you.
This is probably the 3rd time. There's a couple of times you have to do this in the game. You know, unhook bodies from the machine. Like,
Indeed.
it might be 3.
That is why we are here.
We? You wouldn't dare. You couldn't complete it without me.
What's free to play on?
Precisely.
I know that there's free games, but what's free to play? Is it the game you mentioned before? Or is Resident Evil 1, like, because I saw something about that, what is it, remastered or it's out, but... Or that, wait, that's not free, is it? That's like, $20 or...
Trying to make me feel sorry for you?
Oh, Warframe. I should do that. I should probably check out like some of the games that are free, because I haven't really looked that yet, because I've been playing like some of these games and getting into them, and yeah, that's fine. Yeah, just... That's great. I mean, I always enjoy chatting. Yeah. I mean, It's good timing too because I might take a break. I don't know, end the chapter and if I take a break and come back and start up a broadcast for the last chapter. But yeah, you can add me. That'll be good, and it'd be cool too if. I mean, it's good if anybody like wants to add me, especially if I get also a co-op game like some of the multiplayer games, and if anybody has them, like it'll be cool to play with other people. I just looked at, you know what, I'm just thinking, like, you know, I'm talking to you, I'm looking at your name, and I'm thinking about good games. I just remember even playing on a 8-bit Nintendo NES, the game Rygar. Oh God, I don't know how old I was. I was, like, really young. I remember playing that game, though. I really should check out some of the free games. I mean, since they're there and they're free, I mean, it's... For the last few months, I mean, there's 3 games I've been playing. I mean, when I got the PS4, 2 games came with it, and I bought 2 games not long after, and I guess 3 of those games I've been playing for the past few months, and some of them could take a while because I usually try to get all the trophies. This one took me the longest to get all the trophies on. It's partly, I mean, it's really for this game, if the trophy didn't exist for beating this on AKUMU mode, I wouldn't rate the difficulty of getting the trophies like for this game like so high as like the way I think of it. I mean, for me, it's the hardest trophy I've ever gotten, and like if you didn't need that trophy to get a platinum for this, it wouldn't be as difficult. At least in the way that I feel. Was that you who who just sent the friend request? Or do you have a different name? Or maybe that was someone else. I don't know how I would like the chat system works on here specifically. If you can like choose different names. And for anybody who's wondering, I mean like I mean the name that I use, my screen name, I just use it for everything, like you know, like this goes on Twitch. I use it for YouTube, which is connected to my real name. I don't really have any... I mean, it's fine for me. I don't care. I just don't want it. I just don't have a lot of different names, so so it's really complicated. It's all the same. Okay. Cool. Yeah, let me think. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna take a break though, as it's the end of this chapter, and I'll probably start up another broadcast after I take a break for the last chapter. Which should be fine. I mean, the last chapter, I mean, I'm just thinking ahead of... I guess if the broadcast lasts too long or I keep dying over and over again, which could happen, I'd split it into 2. As I have some appointment tomorrow, but it's not until late, but oh, I see. Okay. But yeah, I'll definitely add you. I mean, I saw it appear on the screen, so I'm not sure. I mean, if you know, if I come back here and like take a break, maybe an hour. Or, I'm not quite sure how long, but if I manage to finish this, it makes me think then what I'll do after this. This has been a long, just stretch of broadcast from Chapter 1. I might actually, yeah, have to delve into a new game. It might be worthwhile too to look at the free games too. Because I was thinking, I mean, I do have an appointment tomorrow, which is not until late, but so I mean, I where I am, it's almost 11 p.m. But, I mean, I mean, it's still early for me, in a way, but I was just thinking because I had the appointment too that I'd be out, and I was gonna go to the store maybe and look at, I don't know, see if they had something, but I should probably look at the free games like you were saying. Because I mean, I do see that come on the PS screen, you know, like sometimes there'll be you know, an ad, some kind of video showing like, oh, you know, here's the free games for this month, and I've been so absorbed in the games I'm playing that I've never really got a chance to really check out like a lot of the stuff that's available, and there's probably like really okay. Yeah, I don't know how. I just figure it's a good time for me to take a break too. I look at the elapsed time, and I mean, it's a pretty good time. I've done long broadcasts where they've been over 4 hours, but I'm thinking about chapter 15 and like, you know, what could happen, and sometimes I get like a headache because the headset is like pressing on my head, and I mean, I would probably say I'd be back in an hour. I can't be certain, but it could be less than that, but if I didn't happen to see you, then I mean, I'm sure I'll be chatting. I'm sure I'll chat with you and I'll see you again. I mean, it could even be earlier I come back, but really if you came back even into this broadcast, the beginning of chapter 15 is like, you just find yourself like running until you get to the point of the gauntlet. Which, if you're playing the story, is interesting because I mean, along the way you can collect documents and there's audio tapes and you can kind of further yourself into the story. But when you're playing it the way I am right now, I'm not really like going through the story or collecting the documents. It's like a long stretch where you're just chasing like Leslie, which is kind of like what you do for a lot of this game. You chase Leslie around. Really? Does it? I'm not sure. Like this is something I've only started to do recently. And there was one occasion where I guess it didn't even really stop broadcasting, and there was nothing. Apparently there was a problem, and I figured it out. I didn't want to press the PS button to pause the broadcast 'cause somebody sent me a message. And because I could see when somebody sends me a message, but I can't read it, I guess, unless I go to the PS screen, and I think if I push the button, it'll just pause the broadcast. Or I don't know, I didn't want to do that, and then I just figured after a while there was a problem because the person wasn't chatting anymore. So I thought maybe there's something wrong with my mic, or... But apparently, yeah, I read the message and they just for some reason they couldn't access the broadcast anymore. Like, they couldn't get into it. And when I played it back on Twitch, like, everything recorded. My mic, like everything was there. But a particular person just couldn't seem to, they weren't able to watch it anymore. I don't know. Maybe there's something to do with games, specific games. Because the only game I've done broadcasts on is this one. When you're broadcasting, is it on multiplayer? Or is it you playing single player? The only thing I can think of, and this wouldn't apply to the broadcast stopping, or I have noticed, and this happened to me one time. This is only for audio purposes. I don't know if, like, when you do the broadcast, do you, like, look afterward on Twitch TV on how it came out? Or do you have the archive box checked? Like, it'll keep the videos for 2 weeks? Unless, I guess, you're a partner, it keeps it longer, but I just export them to YouTube to keep them permanently. But on one of my videos, there's like a half-an-hour chunk of audio taken out. And it says on the top, it's like, it's because of some... There's some kind of system set up that's designed to shut your audio off if it somehow detects that there's something to do with something copyrighted. So this can actually happen. I've read this. Like, I'm wondering, like, the game you're mentioning, does it include... Does the game you're playing include real music? Like, because I was thinking to myself, there's some games, and I guess this happens too. If you while you're doing a live broadcast, nothing will happen, I think. But, and again, I think I'm only talking about the audio portion. I don't know what why the broadcast would stop. I don't know if it has to do with the particular game or the multiplayer fast. I've never broadcasted anything multiplayer. The only thing I know that can cause a problem, at least as far as, like, if you look back on your videos, you can have entire audio portions cut off. If you're playing a game that has material in it that, you know, is copyrighted or even like it's in the game and they obviously made a deal and they have the music, like, playing in the game, like music, for instance. If I would imagine if, like, the thing detects that music, it's gonna cut the audio off. Like, during the live broadcast, you'll still hear everything, but when you play back the video that's saved, what it does is, even if it hears it for a second, it'll just, I think it just automatically takes a chunk of, like, a half an hour off. Well, yeah, I'm thinking of music that's, like, automatically, like, in the game. Like, not being played over the game, that's actually part of the game. But it's actual music. Like, you know, a game like Grand Theft Auto, for instance, has radio stations in it that play music that's real. I don't want to say real, like, as if, like, there's other music that's unreal, but you know, that you purchase in real life that these people, like, and if it would probably, I imagine, if I did a broadcast with that game, it would, like, I would have audio cut off everywhere just because of, like, the music playing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I can't think of anything else. The only thing, I've never broadcasted anything multiplayer, so I'm not sure why it would cut off automatically. You mean it just, like, stops? Like, just, and it just says on your screen, it just stops broadcasting? And it doesn't tell you anything else? Or on Twitch it doesn't tell you anything that, oh, you were cut off because... I don't know. I'm not sure. I've never... YouTuber. I wonder if I say that, like, no, wait. I just don't know even a lot about generally about like YouTube or even video editing or things like that. This is just something I decided to spontaneously do. And I have some like videos on there of YouTube that I purposely, like when I was playing like a game, like when I utilized the creator and made races, I used my like iPad to film the television. Oh, wait a minute. Now I just said that. I wonder if like saying that is gonna I don't know. But I mean, I filmed the television just to film it, like to have it on YouTube. But all of these like broadcasts I'm doing for this, and that I've done before this on this game, I just kind of I export it to YouTube like after I'm done, because it's just the idea for me of even. I mean, I don't even think I can download it to my computer. It's kind of just a way for me to save it too, because otherwise, you know, after 2 weeks it's just going to be gone. Unless I make highlights out of it, or turn the entire thing into highlights, which I don't know. I haven't ever tried that with anything, and yeah, I mean, and with what you're saying with the copyright, there's one of my broadcasts. I believe it was during Chapter 9, and it's a really long broadcast because I was chatting with a bunch of people, and there's a half-an-hour chunk taken off of audio, and the only problem I have with it is that, and again, it's this game, like. So the only thing I think of, and there's no party audio like playing during this, so it's something I must have said, but I can't tell what it is because I can't listen to it. So I have no idea what it is, what I said. And again, I guess it's just one thing. You say one thing and it's just going to cut off an entire half-an-hour chunk at that point, and I can't tell what it is. But it makes me feel like I'm almost like it's like vulnerable to saying anything that like potentially could be something it recognizes as copyright. I mean, you know, what if it's a word? What if there's some type of word or some type of statement that's not really that uncommon? And I don't know. I only had it happen once. And I've never broadcasted during a multi. It's only been this game, so. And I've never had party audio on, so there's nobody else that said anything. And the only problem I've ever had is that half-an-hour chunk thing appearing, which means that I said something that it must have recognized as copyrighted material, but I have no idea what it is. So so I can't figure it out, so I can't know to myself like what it is not to say, but you know what I should do? I should probably end this like I was going to and come back, you know, in like a half an hour to an hour. Just so I can, I guess, take a break. Because I actually kind of want to get back to it and maybe, like, get through Chapter 15. Because this will complete the entire broadcast at that point, like, going through this on this mode. Which I would do, I would just continue talking right now and just go to the next chapter. It's just that, I guess it's almost been 3 hours. And I think I need to, like, step away from the screen for a little bit before I jump into the next chapter. So if you're around, I can continue chatting, and if not, I usually come on here at some point, like, if not every day, every other day, and I definitely want to check out those free games, and if there's ever something like, some game you recommend, feel free to tell me, and If it has multiplayer too, like, if you ever want to play something. Because I'm trying to even think to myself, like, what to play next. I figured I'd check out the free games, that's a good idea. Alright, yeah, I should be back, you know, in about an hour. Something like that. It's hard to say. If I come back earlier, I mean, this gameplay I probably won't even be that far because I have to run around in the beginning. No, it's been nice chatting with you, I mean, so I'll probably see you soon. Alright. Yeah, I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna take this headset off for a little bit, because I kind of have a headache. So I'll probably be back in like an hour, and this is the end of chapter 14, and so alright, I'll see you soon. So I'm gonna end this broadcast now. My name is Brian, and I'll see you soon. Alright.